right, everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel and continuing on what we were doing before. I like cars. That's the last video. It was pretty much the same thing. It's going to be old cars that are unique, stylish. I can't necessarily say old because I kind of go through a genre. The older cars to the newer cars, it's pretty crazy. I really enjoy it. I hope you guys really enjoy it. I just posted the video I recorded earlier, and I'm already up to 4 views, and it's only been about 2 hours, which is actually pretty good for me. So I like to appreciate the 4 people who've watched it so far, and hopefully a lot more of you guys watch it. So without a further ado, let's get into this. Move on to the first car. All right, here's the first vehicle, a 1921. I'm going to butcher the name because it's British. It is a 1921 Lat Helica. I know it's a Helica. I don't know how to pronounce the name of the company. Also, I've been working on some of my editing here. So hopefully I can edit the name right over here. No, wrong way. Right over here. Edit the name of the car. So with that saying, this car was featured on Top Gear, the UK version. Richard Hammond drove this car. It's very unique. As you can tell, it is not a normal car. It's a prop car. It has a motorcycle engine in it. What can I say about the car? It has a rear axle with a clutch. It is an 18 horsepower. This one is an 18 horsepower 100cc Harley Davidson V-twin. Weighs about 550 pounds. It's a plywood body. One of these cars, because there were several iterations. The first one was produced in 1913, and I believe the last one might have been 1927, but that's when they got the top speed record for this car, which was on a speedway. It was on a speedway, and it was 106 miles an hour. September 7th, 1927. So this car's had several iterations. English is not a good language for me. Of course, neither are any other ones. But, oh, that's a really tiny picture. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit. There's the car. It came in several different styles and forms. This one has a compartment for the people to sit in. There's ones that they do not have a compartment for people really to sit in. You kind of just sit open style like a plane. And as you can tell, the interior is extremely comfortable inside that car. Extremely comfortable. Here's what the engine looks like. If we can get it up a little closer. So it looks like it's a V-twin motor. You know, most of the Harley Davidsons and that style of motorcycle, the cruisy style, has a V-twin in it. But, you know, Richard Hamilton, his test drive, he said it was rather amusing, but also very terrifying, which you got to admit, you think about it. The front of that car is basically an airplane without the wings. It's literally what you're driving. So I'm pretty sure it's pretty scary. Okay, our next car up is 1935 Stout Scarab. This may be, and it's pretty much well known, this may be the first minivan ever on record in the world. It is ridiculous. There was only 9 made. There's only 5 that survived. This was a brainchild of William Bushnell Stout, who worked for Ford Motor Company and helped design the tri-motor airplane. And this is literally, again, it's the Air 35s and stuff. It's a metal coated car, wood frame. And I do think the car is absolutely gorgeous looking. Look at the lines. Again, it's another car that reminds you of an Airstream. It really does. The car is 16 foot in length. There's a rear engine, rear wheel drive. So that way it offers more leg room for the people because it's rear wheel drive. And it's a rear engine, which is really cool. So the engine and the drives are back here, steering's up front, long torso, very, very nice looking car. It's not a great size. Let's bring it up. Bring it up another one. Look at the body lines, just smooth. They were just so streamlined. It's ridiculous. I mean, look at the front of it. Cars back in those days were so just beautiful and aerodynamic. And personally, I think those cars, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and even the 70s, they just had a soul to them. Like, they just were beautiful cars. I love them. And the interior, here's the front of it. Unique shifter. It really does have a unique shifter. This reminds me more along the lines of like a 3-speed in the column. And clutch, brake, gas pedal. Very basic. Well, there's one that moved the shifter down to the floor. Might be a little newer model. This seat, I love this seat because it doesn't look like it's connected to anything. It looks like it's just free floating back there. It's like, what would you do with that? It's a free floating seat. It just moves around. There's another one, different design. Still the third seat there. Still doesn't look like it's attached to anything. Of course, then neither do the front ones. I don't know. It's another view of the back. I mean, it's just a beautiful car inside and out. I mean, just look at the lines. They are just nice looking cars back in that day. Okay, now we're going to move on to another car. Really unique car. It's just utterly unique. It is a 1942, and I'm so going to butcher this name, Lauf Electric. And yes, Lauf Electric, which translates into electric egg. It was a concept car. The designer was known for designing railways, locomotives, and cars. Now, this is an electric car. So therefore, it has an electric motor, battery pack, which the batteries are actually underneath the front seats. Top speed, what it says on here is 44 miles an hour. And it has a range of about 63 miles. So this is 1944. 1944. This is 1942. So 1942, you got to remember this car was made in, I'm thinking with the name France. It's where it was named. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a French car. So it was made in France. And during the time this was made, you got to understand, it was during World War II. So gas was not very easy to get a hold of. So this guy who invented this car thought of a way for electric, for a city car in the city. A little electric car. And it weighs 177 pounds. It's a three-wheel. Change the picture. It's a three-wheel design car. Really reminds me of an Isetta. It has the cockpit has a 270-degree view, so you can see around it the whole way around it. Here's the back of the car. Now, after the war was over, they did upgrade this car. They took the electric motor out of it and put a, Peugeot single-cylinder motor in it, which is about 5.5 horsepower. And resulting of that, the top speed from the car was only 44 miles an hour in an electric engine. Now the top speed was 50 miles an hour. So just a pretty little, people back then, different needs inspired people to create different things. And this is one of the creations that was created because of the war. It's crazy. Now we're going to move up to a little bit of a newer car. This car is a 1963 Chrysler Turbine. The crazy thing about this car is it had 2 turbine motors in it. And those motors, they literally could run on just about anything from, what is it? It says JP4 jet fuel to perfume. This car can run on. And the reason that Chrysler decided to make this car was the fact for reliability. And during the 60s, I mean, they were experimenting with cars to see if they can get better cars, better fuel mileage, and everything else. I mean, it's just a ridiculous car. You know, here's what one of the turbine engines look like. I mean, just unbelievable engineering to use this. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that was in jet engines back in the day. You know? I mean, look at the front of the car. I mean, this is just a beautiful style of a car. The back of it, very unique. I mean, you don't see stuff like that on cars nowadays. Here's a glimpse of what the interior looked like. Look at that. It literally looked like you were sitting in a cockpit. I mean, you could see the turbine in it. You know, this car supposedly produced 130 horsepower, but it also produced 425 foot-pounds of torque, which is ridiculous. And the other thing that is ridiculous to think about what they did, Chrysler made 200 of these cars. And after they made them and tested them, they hand-picked families to give these cars to in different cities across the country to test them. It says that there was 203 different drivers in 133 different cities across the United States. And altogether, they drove over 1 million miles with those 200 cars. And literally the program was to find out what was the problem with the cars, anything that was wrong with them, you know, what people liked, what they didn't like, and everything else. Some of the big remarks was it didn't accelerate very well, subpar fuel mileage, and noise. They said they were noisy. But the advantages of the turbine engine was they were durable, they were smooth operation, and really maintenance requirements was very, very little, which is crazy to think about in a car. I believe they were all done in the same color, and the color was considered turbine bronze paint, which is just a beautiful orange. I really like that color. It reminds me of like the rust orange that Chrysler did in a lot of their cars. Just a beautiful car. And it says here, according to automakers, 9 survived, and out of those 9, only 5 are drivable. It says the reason the technology was never done in a production model car. Okay, now from the Chrysler Turbine, we're going to go to something pretty much modern and nowadays, which is a 2017 Carlman King. This car's production year was 2017. From what I understand, it is still being produced nowadays. The original car was made in Italy. I do know that. I know in Italy they only made, I think it was only a handful of them. Like, I think they only produced like 5 or 6 of them in Italy. The car's price tag is just literally ridiculous, but it is a stunning looking car. It is crazy. It looks like something that you would see in like future cars. It is ridiculous. The price tag in the car, as you say, it was produced in Italy by a Chinese car company. So it was made in Italy, but a Chinese car company is the one that thought of it and designed it. The car is extremely heavy. It weighs like 5 tons. It's based off the Ford F550 platform. It has a 6.8 liter V8. And it is definitely crazy looking. The car is also has the ability to be armor plated, which I think the base model car starts at $1.8 million, and for like the armor plating and stuff, you're up to $2.2 million. Like I said, it's still being produced from what I understand I got from Wikipedia, which we all know how reliable Wikipedia is. The normal weight is roughly, like I said, 5 tons. Top speed is 87 miles an hour, and the car is capable of being armor plated, which is crazy. That's what it was. There's only 9 built in Italy. And then what happened? America got a hold of it. So it was literally being built and modified in the United States. And some of the things that you can get in this: independent air conditioning. So you have air conditioning in the front and the rear, which I'll show you pictures of the front and rear here. But I want to tell you some of the things that got on it. As you have the ability to get a coffee machine, neon skylighting, flat screen TVs, electric tables, air purification, bar, laptop, refrigerator. Some of the ones that are being more personalized include a really high-end sound system, PlayStations, projection phone, satellite TV, and Wi-Fi. But like I said, you look at this car, and it's just crazy looking. It looks like something out of the Matrix. Here's one of the interiors. They have them in different colors. That looks crazy. There's the view if you're actually looking in from the back into the car. Another view from the back with the TV. No, that's the same one. This one here, I've seen them. The bar sets are in these cupboards right here. They kind of fold down. It's just ridiculous. Here's the rear of the car. It's speechless what people come up with in that flat black. Kind of looks like the stealth fighter color black. Like, you can't pick this up on radar black. It's ridiculous. But that being said, that's pretty much the end of the video. Like I said, If you like the video and the content, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe. Yeah, the like and subscribe. Here's the like button. Over here is the subscribe button. Just click on them. Like I said, I'm trying to do some stuff with the editing to see how this goes, see how crazy I can make it. So with that being said, let's end this video and let's see what else I can find. Like I said, if you guys have any ideas or any thoughts, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I'll catch you in the next one.